Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here, hi, my name is Natasha, and today we are flipping through the Steampunk Tarot. This is by Barbara Moore and illustrated by Aly Fell. It's published by Llewellyn and it retails for $29.99, and I'm pretty sure you can purchase it for a little bit cheaper since it's been out now for quite a few years. I think it was released in 2012. So it says, where the past and future converge, with a turn of the wheel and a spin of the cog, the ocular machinery lumbers into action. The curtains slowly draw back. The time has come to reveal your destiny. Created by expert tarot reader Barbara Moore and brilliantly brought to life by artist Aly Fell, the Steampunk Tarot offers a glimpse into the future through a lens to the past. Retooling the gears of the Rider-Waite tradition, each card's intricate artwork depicts a scintillating fusion of man and machine, nature and technology, science and alchemy, romance and fashion. The included manual offers tips, original spreads, and guidance in card interpretation. So I have played around with this and used this, and I do love it. It is fun. And the guidebook can be a little confusing just because things aren't exactly where you think they're going to be. There's different sections, but other than that, it's really nice. It's a very thick guidebook. It has a ribbon, and as you can see, the fun little insert picture there of the cogs. So very much your standard Llewellyn deck here. And this is the back. How fun! So steampunk was a really huge trend in the early aughts, or not the early aughts, but 2010s around there. It was like really big for a while. And so this was, you know, a byproduct of that, and it's really fun. So I still enjoy a good steampunk rendition. So we do have introduction, we have some basics about tarot, and then it goes into the major arcana, the minor, and then all of the court cards. So you're not going to find like page through king in your particular suit. You're going to find it in the court section. And then it has some spreads and some gratitude. So a lot of information here, really good information. So for a beginner, this would be a pretty good deck for you. And then it goes into the cards. And then the spreads are all the way in the back. Let's see, I wanted to show you as soon as I get to them. Here we go. So there's quite a few spreads here for you. All right. So we have obviously the 1 card here in the back, then it goes into the 3 card, and then adaptable spreads. So we have quite a few here for you to play around with, and they're quite fun and interesting. And, you know, I do appreciate Barbara Moore's work. So I have a couple of her decks, and I do enjoy them. So highly recommend some of Barbara Moore's work, and you can check them out on the playlist that I have, the tarot review playlist. I have quite the the video collection there for you to check out more. All right, so there are some borders here, but I do not mind them at all. I feel like they're thin enough to be ignored. And the artwork here is stunning. I will say though that the only disappointment here for me is the there's not too much diversity in this deck. However, I will give them, it was 2012. However, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I always look for diversity in a deck because tarot is for everyone. So it's always important for there to be representation. And that is my spiel, and I will shut up about it. I do love the choice of fashion in these cards. I love how they tend to rework the imagery as well. Like I love this chariot card here. The cardstock is your standard Llewellyn cardstock. It's kind of thin, but it works just fine. It shuffles great. It's a good size. It is a smidge glossy, as you can tell. Don't hate it. This death card is nice too. I just think it's a fun, different type of deck. This is a really fun devil card too. You know, it's a different type of feel. I think if you're really into steampunk, this is a great deck for that. I also have a Liz Dean steampunk deck that I will be reviewing and putting up on here. However, they are pip cards. So I tend to go to this one over the other just because of that. But that's just my opinion and my preference. I just honestly love seeing scenes play out in my decks. I feel like it's a little bit more intimate. All right, so now we are in the minors. There's just a lot of depth in the artwork here, which I really appreciate. It's more darker toned, but the use of the dark is not, it doesn't muddy the artwork. Hopefully that makes sense. And I feel like since the imagery is very close to the Rider-Waite-Smith originals, that it's very beginner friendly. I love this too. It's very interesting. So it allows you to use your intuition, and it allows you to create your and come to your own conclusions about what these cards mean before you go to the guidebook. I don't know why, but this particular image here reminds me of Harry Potter. I don't know why. Probably the colors. I just find this deck pretty creative, and the use of the subject matter is really cool. And whenever I think of steampunk, I always think back to the Wild Wild West movie with Will Smith. And oh gosh, what's his name? I get him always confused with another actor, the other main character. But it's just one of those movies that, like, it's so bad it's good, in my opinion. And it's one of those movies that you can just put on and just, you know, enjoy the ride. But it was kind of like my first big introduction into like the steampunky kind of world in that way. And I just loved it. The creativity. And what were they writing in on, like a huge steampunk spider? It's been a minute since I've seen the movie, but like I just always thought it was so much fun. There was a I was so into cosplay for a hot minute there, and I really wanted to dive deeper into that. But there was this person who did Batman and DC comic characters in steampunk, and I just thought that was so cool, the way that this artist interpreted it. And I cannot tell you who it was. This was way back, like at least 10 years ago now. But it's just the way that people can come up with concepts for it and reimagine established characters in this kind of art form is so cool to me. I think it's so much fun, and it gives more depth to the character too. Anyway, I go off on tangents, but I do love a steampunk cosplay. And I see a lot of that in this deck, like how I would interpret steampunk too. There's a lot of good balance, I feel, too, between feminine and masculine energy in this deck. I love, love, love this Four of Pentacles too. It's one of those banks, I'll call it, where it takes the money and closes it, kind of like those, the cap that pops up and pulls the coin in. Anyway. Probably making this video way too long with my tangents, but help when things pop in my head. I need to say it. It's just stunning artwork. The realistic kind of look, but not. I just love it. I think it's fun. I think it's a different type of deck. It's not something that you see fairly often, and I enjoy looking at all the different things in the cards that when I come back to it, I'm like, oh, I never noticed that before. Let's shuffle. It just is so smooth. It's really great. I don't have a problem with any of the Llewellyn decks like this shuffling because it's such a great size and the cardstock bounces back really nicely. All right, so let's see. There we go. There's one card there. So we'll read King of Cups. All right, so yeah. No problem shuffling, really like it. Let's get into the meaning of the King of Cups, how it will read in your guidebook here. So it's in the back, in the King's section. Oh, look at that, I just pulled to it. Okay, so affliction comes to us not to make us sad, but sober, not to make us worry, but wise. Henry Ward Beecher. Core meaning is someone who is driven by emotion, art, and relationships. This grand patriarch host, this is how the King of Cups sees himself. Indeed, it is how the world views him as well. He is the doting father, loving grandfather, jolly uncle, and devoted godfather. People, even his family and friends, may think that his relationships lack intimacy, but these connections are vitally important to the structure of his life and his self-image. He would rather sit back and watch his loved ones have a good time than actively participate in the shared activities. This does not render his attachments superficial. Below the jovial surface, his emotions run just as deep as the Queen's. So the Queen of Cups. Okay, and if he seems more detached or less emotional, it is because he has blended perspective gained over time and through experience with the raw feelings of his heart. In many ways, this makes his emotional life deeper and much more complex than it appears. Relationships and art of all types create ties and bonds of emotions that circle his heart. He is driven, like no other king, by his heart. The tapestry is so complex that if you tug one thread, you would be hard-pressed to determine what else will be affected. In this way, he appears more unpredictable and inscrutable than the other kings. If you want to understand the King of Cups, you must follow the tangled maze of relationships and emotional responses to his core. There you will find all of his values, and there you will learn how to relate to him. Alrighty, so this is not a guidebook that has like keywords, key phrases, and all of that kind of stuff. It's more of getting to the heart of the card and the meaning. So it does have information on kings in general, as well as each of the court cards, the twos, the suits as well. So it's very in-depth as far as the guidebook goes. And like I said before, I do enjoy Barbara Moore's decks. I feel like she goes really in-depth with her guidebooks, and this is just a really stunning deck in general with the art and with the information. So beginner friendly, I think so. I feel like if you understand the background behind each card, you don't necessarily need the like key phrases or the key meanings, but everyone learns differently. So keep that in mind. So if you're connected with this deck, I will link the places that you can purchase this deck in the description box below. They're not affiliate links. I'm not sponsored. I just want you guys to be able to find what you seek. So let me know if this is a deck that you own. What do you think about this deck? What are your opinions? I'm curious to hear because it's always interesting to see everyone's different likes and dislikes and the reasons behind those. So let me know what your thoughts are down there. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell on your way out of this video. That way you'll never miss an upload from me. And thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.